Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. Today's snapshot is 17w50a and this will be one of two snapshots released this week, and that'll be it for the rest of the snapshots this year, I believe, or at least before Christmas. That's not how you set up a beacon, is it? This has two really big major changes in it. One of those is the removal of ghost blocks. We're going to test it in a moment and find out. I'm just getting prepared. The other one is item frames. They can be placed on the ground like that. They can be placed on the underside of blocks as well, even leaf blocks. Yeah, that's pretty spectacular, right? I've been messing around with this old mechanic here, just seeing if it works when they're on this side of the block. It doesn't, and same for this one over here. I've also messed around with moving the comparator about so it's sort of at this height. Yeah, and we're probably going to find tons of amazing cool uses for these item frames being able to be placed on all six sides of a block. I figured this might look cool on the floor because it's the same texture as the birch wood, right? And it lines up with it, so it kind of looks like a little pressure plate on the ground or something. And I saw this on Reddit as well. Someone had created a 3D map room. Now, I had a little bit of trouble getting the maps in the right place and the right rotation. You'll see that there are some janky borders here and there, but that is pretty immersive, right, for a map room. That's kind of really cool. I like it a lot. I think this is such a great little idea that they've added. It's not something I've actually seen suggested too often as well. It seems like such a great and obvious idea, right, being able to put these on all sides of the block. Anyway, the next thing that we're going to check out is Instant Mine. If you've ever seen this before, you can get ghost blocks, and before we test this, I'm actually going to give you a little bit of an example first of all. So I'm currently on the Hermitcraft server where I've mined a gazillion amount of blocks using Instant Mine. I've done this so many times I actually know how to recreate ghost blocks. So I've created one right here. You can see that this is not very comfortable for me. If we just back up from here a second and place down a couple of torches, we'll see that somewhere here it's probably that one. Yeah, there's a disagreement between the server and the client, and the server thinks there's actually a block there. The client thought that there wasn't because we couldn't see it, right? That is a ghost block. We are now going to go back over to the snapshot world and we're going to try and recreate that over there. I've found a snapshot bug. You can't give yourself night vision without fart bubbles. It's quite annoying. So we'll have those on our screen, which look ugly. The trick to doing this is to basically mine and drop down while you mine. If you fall down and you're instant mining, that's usually when the client and the server have a disagreement. I am down here jumping, flailing my pick in all directions, dropping down blocks, just going crazy like this, jumping up and down, and I haven't created a single ghost block yet, which is just superb. That's going to be such a wonderful little change that we've been waiting years and years for that one to get fixed. It's so irritating. It's such a common problem to have when you're playing the game, and I can't even force them right now, which I just think is awesome. So yeah, that's looking really, really good. Ghost blocks have been removed at last. We can rejoice. There have been some changes to redstone as well. If you saw my last snapshot video, we had the sticky piston behavior change so that it would drop the block and not retract it when it's given a one-tick pulse. That has been reverted. As I said in that video, it was reported that they were going to change it back. However, at some point in the future, we may lose that functionality. I really don't know what's going on with all of that. And then over here, another bug I noticed has been fixed. A two-tick repeater going into an observer would create two pulses incorrectly, and now it only creates one pulse, so that's behaving like normal. Another thing over here is to do with water and lava. They can be affected by random ticks, which means you can't reliably use them for anything like updates with redstone. And if we do a quick demonstration, you'll see that all the water flows down at the same time. Now, if we weren't in this snapshot, there's the possibility that a random tick updates the flowing water before another bit, and it starts to go down faster than the water around it. So that means that water can actually be reliably used for timing in redstone, which is pretty cool. Just a couple of things left to cover. Something that's been bothering me when I've been making these snapshots is a bug with typing up here. You would type, you would take an item, put it into your inventory, and then what you should be able to do is start typing again, and it would clear the text up here, which it stopped doing. Now, not only has that been fixed, it's also decided to grey the text, which I think is really cool. So it lets you know that when you next type, all of that's going to get deleted, right? Which I think is a cool little way to fix that, to add something extra as well. Now, the next thing is to do with tags. I showed in the previous snapshot video what tags were. They are like lists of a block. So if this block here referred to a tag in its crafting recipe, it means that we could use any of these walls over here that are in our tag, which is basically a list, and then we could craft the saddle. Well, now you can put other tags into a list of tags. So if this one said we're also going to refer to this other tag over here, and then that one had, you know, these materials inside of it as well, then that means that we could also use those materials to craft this thing, because that set of tags is inside that set of tags which we are referring to here. Hopefully that makes sense. A new feature has been added to the teleport commands. If we go to TP, you could usually put these squiggly lines which basically mean like relative. So if we do that, we will go 10 blocks in that direction, right? Now that's relative to the world, not the way that I'm facing. So if I face this way, we're then going to go 10 blocks in that direction. So instead of using that type of squiggly line, you can now use this little upwards arrow, and I believe it requires all of them to actually be upwards arrows. So let's do that. So now it's going to go 10 blocks in the way that we're facing, because it's going to be relative to us. So now when we do that, we go 10 blocks in that direction. Is it actually, it's going diagonal as well, which I wasn't quite aware of. So that is what you can do with those little arrows. You can make the teleporting relative to yourself. It's basically where I'm looking at, which I wasn't quite aware of when I tested this a second ago. Anyway, I think that's a really cool little feature, and that's actually going to be it from me this snapshot video. If you have enjoyed it, leave a like. As always, thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next one on Wednesday, although that might be on the second channel if there's not too much to talk about. But there is going to be another snapshot this week, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.